The LeBron James Foundation partnered with Kent State to relieve a large school expense. Ways it's benefiting students straight ahead.
Ohio State football players are in custody at Franklin County Jail. What exactly went down and the charges being brought against them?
The coronavirus is still out in action, but is there a way to stop it in its tracks? Updates on a possible vaccination and ways you can prevent the illness.
Ohio is looking to raise its minimum wage. See how the bump up could affect the state's economy. TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
We start here with news right out of Kent State's campus. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gianna DaPra.
And I'm Chris Abreu.
Kent State has partnered up with LeBron James Family Foundation this morning, announcing free tuition to students in the IPromise program. The oldest network class of the IPromise program is going to be provided 4 years of free tuition at Kent State. On top of that, they will be given free room and board and for 1 year as well. The class holds 193 students who will be eligible for the offer as freshmen of the year 2021-2022. And middle and high school teachers can get paid to learn how to teach the history of May 4th, 1970. A Kent State University summer program will craft lessons and projects around the shootings that left 4 dead and 9 injured. A $170,000 National Endowment for Humanities grant paid for by the program. Shooting witnesses, victims, and National Guardsmen will be present. The first session will run June 21st to the 26th, including a $1,200 fixed allowance.
The man who allegedly pointed a shotgun at a Portage County detective has been apprehended. 41-year-old Daniel Friedrich did not have his truck's registration when questioned by the detective. Soon after, Friedrich pulled out a gun. The detective fled for safety, but officials found Friedrich's truck outside a residence containing the shotgun, methamphetamine, and marijuana. Friedrich has an outstanding warrant in Stark County, and Portage County has filed charges against him for felonious assault. And 2 football players from Ohio State University are being charged with rape and kidnapping. Franklin County Jail confirmed that both Amir Reep and Jason Wint are in custody for crimes that allegedly occurred on February 4th. Reports say that Reep was having consensual sex with a woman when she said she no longer wanted to continue. Soon after, Wint entered the room and joined Reep in on the crime.
An Akron man was found dead inside his home after a 6-hour standoff with the police. Officials went to the man's apartment to evict him Tuesday morning after being 4 days late on his monthly rent. Authorities entered with the SWAT team and found the Akron man lying on the floor. The man fired 2 shots from the inside of the apartment. The standoff, which prompted SWAT to fire tear gas into the home. Officials say officers did not fire any shots.
Governor Mike DeWine's gun bill is gaining support from a campaign launched by a political nonprofit. The recently formed nonprofit named Standing by Ohio has a digital and direct mail ad campaign that is trying to help get DeWine's bill through office. Thanks to the campaign, the bill has received a new round of support from people in politics and residents of Ohio.
And Ohio may be passing a law that will eventually raise the minimum wage to $13 an hour.
That's right. Our reporter Camryn Calderwood has the story. Hi, Camryn.
Hi, guys. As of January 1st, Ohio has begun the process of significantly increasing the minimum wage by setting it at $8.70 per hour. I set out to answer the questions, can we expect this trend to continue, and how will the economy be affected? Take a look. Ohio petitioners have taken the first steps towards raising Ohio's minimum wage from where it stands at $8.70 per hour as of January 1st to $13 an hour by the year 2025. This would involve increases of roughly 85 cents per year until 2025. It is now official that the Ohio Attorney General's office has certified the petition, and it is one step closer to reaching the ballots in November. To give some context, in 2019, the average Ohio wage stood at $11.80 per hour, $1.20 below the proposed minimum wage. So how would this affect Ohio's economy? I sat down with an economics major to find out what we can expect.
Usually raising minimum wage like a little bit at a time doesn't sound like a bad idea, but jumping up that quickly is going to have very, very dire effects on smaller companies. Small companies may not even be able to afford to pay that much. Companies won't really be able to hire as many people at that wage as they could at like a smaller wage.
Beyond a broader economic outlook, I wanted to know how a change in Ohio's wage would affect college students who work minimum wage jobs.
It may not benefit as many of them as you'd think. Obviously, the students who get to keep their jobs and everything would be looking well, but there'd be a lot of college students out there who are either getting fired or not getting hired, having a harder time finding jobs.
That it's still evolving,
if the petition gains the required 442,958 valid signatures by July 1st of this year, you can expect to see this on November's ballot. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Camryn Calderwood.
Welcome to your Wednesday night weather report. I'm Rachel Gross. Currently in Kent, we're just beginning to see a little bit of snow. Temperatures around 30 degrees, seeing a little bit of winds at 8 miles per hour. Taking a look at the radar right now, like I said, we're just on the edge of this snowstorm that's moving into the area right now. Some areas may be beginning to see a few flakes here and there, but by 10 p.m., we're going to be right in the middle of it. Some areas down south might be seeing a little bit more rain than snow. Up here, Akron, Youngstown, Kent, we're going to be seeing some snow around these parts, and that snow is going to continue through the night. Taking a look at tonight, 31 degrees with up to 10 mile per hour wind gusts, and that snow and rain is going to come in here. We're going to be seeing a snow and rain mix. 1 to 3 inches of snow by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. That's going to be a big mess tonight, so the roads are just going to be very dangerous, very hazardous, so definitely use caution when you're traveling tonight, as we're going to be seeing this wintry mix move into the area, like I said, barely right on the edge of that snow and rain divide. Now that's all I have for my first forecast. I'll be back to give more information on the winter storm and your next week in weather.
Thank you, Rachel. 5 inmates who were in a Canton Correctional Facility escaped sometime between Monday evening and yesterday morning. Canton police reported they escaped from the Stark County Regional Community Correctional Facility through a broken window on the first floor. The names of the inmates involved have not been released, and the escapees are still at large. Stick with TV2 for updates on this developing story.
An Akron man broke into a woman's car at the dog park on Memorial Parkway, stealing her purse and more. Officials say it happened January 31st at 9 a.m. when the suspect kicked the rear window out and started to run. Sources say the man was seen at the Fairlawn Walmart later that day. Police have yet to find this man, so if you have any information, please contact the number at the bottom of your screen.
And a warming center is open in Portage County due to the winter weather advisory that started at 4 p.m. and is in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. 2 to 4 inches of snow is likely, along with the potential of freezing rain. The Portage Warming Center is at the center of Hope in Ravenna and is open from 3 p.m. today until 9 a.m. tomorrow. The weather is likely to make road conditions very dangerous, so stay safe out there.
Still to come, the coronavirus is still making some stir. Is there a way to prevent it? Straight ahead. Stick around for a few more minutes. I'll let you know how much snow could be on the ground when you wake up tomorrow morning. TV2 will be right back.
And prepare for the fair by attending a drop-in session Monday through Friday in various locations on the Kent campus to get your resume reviewed, practice your elevator pitch, and learn how to research organizations attending the fair. You can also stop by the Career Closet in Schwartz 262 right above admissions to pick out free professional attire to dress your best on the day of the fair. For more information about the drop-in session schedule or the career fair, please visit kent.edu/career or register in the Handshake app.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. The Ohio Department of Health's testing of 2 people suspected to have the coronavirus came back negative. With this announcement, they also bring news yesterday that a new individual is sick and being tested for the virus. That's now 4 people in Ohio who have been tested for the virus and did not have it. The department says they are now following a procedure in which they announce potential infections and negative test results on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And with the coronavirus deaths toll still on the rise, many people are wondering if a vaccination for the virus is a possibility. Our reporter Nadine Batal reports.
That it's still evolving, so that is yet to be determined. But I mean, certainly it's of a concern, especially from the aspect of China, where the majority of the cases are right now.
The novel coronavirus, which originated in Wuhan, China, has resulted in over 1,100 deaths in just China alone.
I think that we're in a special circumstance or situation because we were able to know of it so far in advance.
A lot of the symptoms that the people who have been sick with this, for the most part, are still runny nose, cough, respiratory problems. So the lung problems, and when you get really, really sick for it, you get pneumonia.
The CDC believes that symptoms may appear in as few as 2 days or as long as 14 after exposure.
Well, currently right now there's no cure and there's no preventative for this novel coronavirus, so patients are being treated symptomatically.
However, a vaccination is definitely a possibility.
There is a vaccine that is in works because China's scientists had released the genomic sequence. The CDC had to do all the testing, but now that the test has been approved, it can go to the state health department. So I believe that people who are under investigation will be able to know their status is negative or positive more quickly now because they won't have to have that additional leg of the journey of the test being sent to Atlanta for the test result.
Reporting for TV2, this is Nadine Batal.
And another day, another snowstorm in Ohio. The Ohio Department of Transportation is getting ready for today's big snowstorm ahead. ODOT says there is going to be over 400 crew out and about tonight helping the counties around the Cleveland area. They started salting the roads yesterday. A winter weather advisory went into effect in northeast Ohio today, and this will be the 6th winter storm to hit this season. Welcome back to your Wednesday night weather report. Like Gianna said, we're expecting another winter storm tonight. That will be Winter Storm Mabel, and we're expecting 2 to 4 inches by Friday 10 a.m. And tonight we're going to be seeing moderate to heavy snowfall at times, and that wintry mix with some freezing rain possible overnight. And the highest snowfall we're going to be seeing will be actually north of Akron and Mansfield. And then south of there, we're going to be seeing a little bit more rain than snow. Tomorrow, snow at times, another 1 to 2 inches expected. And those temperatures are going to drop down to about 11 degrees tomorrow night. So bitterly cold, 14-mile-per-hour gusts at times too. And then taking a look at the 7-day forecast, Friday, it's going to get cold and frigid on Friday, 20 degrees with a 10-degree low. And then Saturday, Sunday, not going to be as cold as Friday, but definitely still pretty chilly. We might have some chances to see the sun this weekend too, which is always a good thing. Monday might be seeing a little bit of rain in the PM. And then Tuesday, it's going to warm up to almost about 50 degrees. Quite a difference from the temperatures we're going to be seeing tomorrow night and on Friday. Wednesday of next week, windy and a little bit cooler, but unfortunately those clouds are going to stick around throughout the week. And with that, that's all I have for tonight. Stay safe and dry out there, Portage County. I'm Rachel Gross, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, Rachel. A man from Akron was charged with murder and felonious assault for a shooting on the west side of Akron. 20-year-old Melvin Terry opened fire on the victims on January 8th when they were in an SUV trying to drive away. One person was pronounced dead on the scene while the other was wounded by the attack. A judge posted his bond at $500,000 yesterday morning. He is set to appear in court again on February 28th.
And a house fire broke out in Canton, but no one knows why. Investigators are looking to see if the cause of that fire started early this morning around 1 a.m. A woman was trapped inside but was rescued by firefighters. Officials say she is in critical condition at the hospital.
And the Brunswick Police Department found a missing blind dog and are now looking for the owner. The English Bulldog was rescued from an 18-inch basement window well today in a house on Westchester Drive. The dog had a leash but no tags. Animal Control says he was not being cared for properly and are now giving him the proper medical attention. Anyone with information on the owner should contact Animal Control.
One children nutrition company is looking for its next baby ambassador. How can you enter your child in the current photo search? Coming up.
Long-awaited news for Browns fans has been announced today. Stay tuned for what that is and much more in my sports report.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Thanks for sticking with us. Bernie Sanders won the New Hampshire Democratic presidential primary last night. It was the first primary vote of many to come in the next few months. CNN's Abby Phillips has more on the results.
This victory here is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump.
With a win in New Hampshire, Senator Bernie Sanders taking control as the Democratic frontrunner.
No matter who wins, and we certainly hope it's going to be us, we are going to unite together and defeat the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
But not too far behind him, Pete Buttigieg.
Here in a state that goes by the motto, live free or die, you made up your own minds.
The former South Bend, Indiana mayor earning a strong second-place finish, once again saying he's a great alternative to voters who may see Sanders as too progressive.
Vulnerable Americans do not have the luxury of pursuing ideological purity over an inclusive victory.
Despite winning the popular vote in both Iowa and New Hampshire, Sanders is behind in the overall delegate race by 2.
Hello, America. I'm Amy Klobuchar, and I will beat Donald Trump.
Amy Klobuchar seemingly appealing to the state's moderate and independent voters.
Donald Trump's worst nightmare is that the people in the middle, the people who have had enough of the name-calling and the mudslinging, have someone to vote for in November.
The Minnesota senator ending Tuesday's contest with a surprisingly strong third-place finish and a new attitude.
We've been strong and we've never quit.
Senator Elizabeth Warren, who placed 4th, praised Klobuchar for her performance.
I also want to congratulate my friend and colleague, Amy Klobuchar, for showing just how wrong the pundits can be when they count a woman out.
With a 5th-place finish, Joe Biden left the state even before the votes were counted for South Carolina.
It ain't over, man. We're just getting started.
Eager to quickly put his dismal showings in the first contests behind him.
We just heard from the first 2 of 50 states. Now, where I come from, that's the opening bell, not the closing bell. And the fight to end Donald Trump's presidency is just beginning, just beginning.
But Biden isn't the only candidate looking ahead. Sanders is setting his sights on the next states and Super Tuesday.
We're going to Nevada, We're going to South Carolina. We're going to win those states as well.
This is not an easy decision or something I made lightly with the team. Endings are hard, and I've always had the intention to stay in this race until the very end. But I have been persuaded that the message of this campaign will not be strengthened by my staying in this race any longer.
That was presidential candidate Andrew Yang dropping out of this year's 2020 election. He made the decision after the New Hampshire primary polls closed. Yang started his two-year race at the end of 2017 as an unknown with virtually no donor list. One thing he was most noted for was his efforts of giving $1,000 a month to 13 families around the country. Yang told his supporters that he would be back and won't rule anything out for future positions. And Jussie Smollett is now facing new charges from last year's alleged staged hate crime hoax. The Empire actor was indicted today on 6 counts of disorderly conduct for lying to police about the incident. Smollett said he was assaulted by 2 men yelling racist and anti-gay slurs in Chicago. Officials say Smollett paid the suspects to stage the incident. Previously, the actor was charged with 16 counts of lying to the police, but got dropped when he paid $10,000 in bail. Smollett still insists on being truthful.
A fire broke out at ExxonMobil refinery yesterday in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The fire was contained to the location where it started, but the Baton Rouge Fire Department, they are not still sure what caused the fire. People have been speculating that it was some type of explosion, which the fire department spokesperson says is unlikely. No injuries from the event were reported. And the United States Space Command is suspicious of Russian satellite activity, calling it unusual and disturbing. A pair of Russian spacecraft that were launched last November flew near a U.S. satellite. The commander of this part of the military, General John Raymond, is saying the behavior reminds him of satellites Russia launched in the past that they suspected to be weapons.
A father who moved into his daughter's dorm room is now being accused of targeting his daughter's friends. Reports say Lawrence Ray would use verbal and physical abuse to manipulate the victims. Ray is facing federal charges of extortion, sex trafficking, and money laundering.
Father demanded a taped confession from the victims for crimes they supposedly committed. Officials say the videos were used by Ray to extort the victims. He was arraigned to face life in prison today.
Exciting news in Cleveland today as the Browns finally get back one of their best players. I'll have that and more after the break.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Hi everyone. Well, Cleveland fans have reason to be happy today, even after Jason Kipnis has signed with the Cubs. Myles Garrett has been reinstated by the NFL after his indefinite suspension last year for using his helmet in a fight with Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph. The suspension ended Garrett's season after 10 games, and NFL Network's Mike Garofalo reported it resulted in a loss of over $1 million for Garrett. The Browns opened their season at home against the Baltimore Ravens. And the Kent State baseball season starts up on Friday, and the MAC has released their predictions for the season. Voted by conference coaches, the Flashes are the consensus favorite to win the MAC and predicted to finish second in the regular season. Right behind is Central Michigan. Kent State finished last season at 17-8 in the MAC and couldn't get past the first round of the tournament while CMU took the crown. Kent State opens their season in Florida against Iowa at 4 on Friday. Now taking it to the hardwood, Kent State women's basketball will be traveling 20 minutes down the road to play Akron tonight. The Golden Flashes are coming off a 6-point loss to Ohio this last Saturday, where they were limited to 20 points in the second half. Head coach Todd Starkey looks to go 6-1 in the series against the Zips at 7. Now just under 30 games left for the Penguins, and the NHL season in Pittsburgh is pushing to the first place in their conference. Now let's take it to PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh as they did take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. It is first period, 8:33 left. Off a ricochet, Evgeny Malkin, he'll score for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They go up 1-0. Second period now, we'll see Mikhail Sergachev. He'll put one in. He'll tie it in the second period, and it will be tied going to the end of regulation. And here, towards the end of overtime, Yanni Gourde, he'll put it in from the assist, and they go on to win just like that. Tampa Bay moves to 37-15-5. Pittsburgh 34-15-6, and just one game behind Washington. Now finally, the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show was held in New York last night, and without football, I have to say, this put a smile on my face. Let's look at the coverage from there. Now, this is Daniel, the Golden Retriever, and he made it to the final 7 along with Bourbon, the Whippet, and also the Fox Terrier there. But the winner of the show was Seba, the Black Poodle. Look at her, the haircut and everything. I don't know how you can beat that. And all I want is the phone number to whoever cut that poodle's hair. I mean,
that was the most cleanest cut I've ever seen on a dog in my life.
It was just flowing in the wind, and
everything
it's
was
unbelievable.
just gorgeous about it.
It's ridiculous. Only if my haircut could be that good.
Oh my gosh, if only.
Yeah.
We only can wish.
If only.
And I'm sure that they paid thousands of dollars for those haircuts too.
I can't imagine the pay that
Oh my
haircut
gosh.
artists get. But
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that report, Mitch. An annual pierogi feast will be taking place in the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds come April 4th. The day celebrating the Polish dish will feature pretty much any pierogi that exists anywhere, like from Lost Village or the Pierogi Palace. One lucky vendor will be given an award if voted to have the best pierogies in town. Tickets can be purchased online, and admission is $9 for kids and $11 for adults.
And everyone thinks their baby is a star, so here's an opportunity for you. Gerber is still on the prowl to find the new face of the company, and your baby really could be the star. The deadline to apply is February 12th, and they can't be any older than 4. If your child wins, they'll be the 2020 ambassador of Gerber and will receive $25,000. The baby will be judged on visual appeal, expressiveness, and consistency to the Gerber's Anything for a Baby mission. And that is our report this Wednesday evening. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm Gianna DaPra.
Have a great night, Portage County.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.